DVD extras. Take two.
Oh, well, I must admit, when I was first asked to make a series in Africa, part of me was fairly anxious about that, because really, I felt it had all been done before. You know, I knew Africa pretty well because I've been going there with the BBC for the best part of 20 years. And I knew that with such a heritage behind it of almost 100 years of wildlife filmmaking, what was there left to say? And it was with a big gulp that I said, yes, I'd do it. Africa's massive, but actually the parts of Africa which have been filmed have been quite localized. But there are so many regions of Africa which we really haven't explored in any great depth. And we felt it was going to be very important to see the whole of Africa for the first time, to go from the high Atlas Mountains, from monkeys in snow, in what appears to be alpine conditions, right down to the Cape of Good Hope, where you have the Indian Ocean meeting the Atlantic and the immense activity around the Sardine Run. To go from the roof of Africa with the gelada baboons right the way across to the last remnants of where the Congo rainforest meets the Atlantic Ocean and hippos and elephants come out onto the beach. We wanted to show the great spread of the continent. You know, Africa is 7,000 kilometers from top to bottom, 7,000 kilometers across. It's massive. After about 6 months, I began to get very nervous indeed, because we really weren't finding stories that seemed to carry any great novelty with them. And our biggest fear, I suppose, was people would go, why should I watch this series? I've seen it all before. As we started to build relationships with people, as the first film crews started coming out and we were working with people on the ground, suddenly this wealth of new information appeared. Scientists began to tell us things that maybe they hadn't even published in papers yet, so they really were new to the world. So it was perhaps a year into filming, or 18 months into filming, that we really felt we started to get to grips with a whole new side to Africa, a side to Africa we really hadn't seen before, and that's when the heart started really pumping. I suppose two sequences stand out for me more than any other in Africa. For sheer behaviour, it would be the giraffe fight, simply because you'll never look at a giraffe in the same way again. And then for character and sheer audacity, the lions and lizards sequence for me is really special. That was a story that was given to us by a scientist working in the Serengeti. It had never been recorded before, and by embedding cameras around the rocks where the lions were living, and by getting to film right in on the lizard's eye line and get into their world, we could see the challenges they faced as they tried to steal flies off the backs of these lions without waking them up. I think as a character piece and as a sort of David and Goliath sequence, that really does stand out. The most surprising revelation in many ways was the black rhinos at night in Namibia. because we had this new Starlight camera, which enabled us to film without any lights of any sort, the nocturnal ongoings of this rhino party that happens around the waterholes. The sheer surprise of seeing an animal that is transformed from being solitary and aggressive by daytime to being so tender and social and intimate at night and charming, I found that really surprising. That was the great revelation there. I think we're all so proud of the team. To do this for 4 years, to endure what they have endured for 4 years. Some of the things which have happened, we had a helicopter go down in Gabon, make an emergency landing in the rainforest. We've had 2 people walk off into minefields, fortunately come out unscathed. We sank a boat in a cave in Ethiopia whilst doing a recce. We've had a big team of people going all over the continent, and to see them all back safely and with some fantastic filming firsts in the bag and some wonderful pieces of behaviour, yeah, that's just a big relief, and we're proud.